Joining me here in the tent now is Matt Snow. Let's have a conversation directly so you don't have to look in the camera.
Okay.
Yeah. So first, Matt Snow, if you don't know, viewers at home, one of the captains of Maverick, might be the only captain of Maverick now.
Well, it's still up for discussion, but right now Andy Ray's not going back next year. So.
Right, so first of all, congrats on the top 4 finish at CUUC. It's kind of a big break for the region. I mean, we've not had a Waterloo team that's actually finished top 4 like that. I think PPF might have done it one year.
I'm not sure if they ever did. So yeah, we're extremely proud of the team and how it developed over the year, and you know what we're carrying forward next year. So.
Well, and it's especially important. It was a World's year. I mean, you've got big teams. You've got teams coming after that open title, showing off, basically to try and get onto the selection committee or being selected.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's a particularly important.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's really good for the team to play against those top teams like Goat and Furious. It's just absolutely great experience for us to play them. We actually played Furious twice, which was just tons of fun.
Yeah, so you gave them trouble both once in pool play and then once in quarters.
That's right, we played them in quarters. No, we played them in semis.
Semis, sorry.
And did quite well, actually. I think it ended up being 15-7, but we had a lot of fun playing against them. We learned a lot, and hopefully they were impressed with us.
Yeah, so Maverick draws players from quite a large region. Well, we just had a observer go right through our little interview here, but that's all right. He's cold.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No worries.
Yeah, we draw players from Barrie, Hamilton. We have some London players, as well as the local Kitchener one of the region.
So how did this team really develop over time?
It started when we decided to dissolve Liquid.
Yeah.
Probably when was that? That was 2009. Was the last year for Liquid. So the men on that team decided they wanted to try their hand at Open. So a lot of the original players from Liquid are playing on Maverick, and a lot of the women then went and played with PPF. So started with that, and then we've been building our base with players. I wouldn't even call it outside talent. I would say players that are coming in from the Barrie area and from Hamilton as well.
How did you guys decide upon the name Maverick?
That's a good question. We had a lot of different names that we were throwing around. At one point, Andy and I were just saying, what name do we want? And we probably had a list of about 50 different names. And one of the names I had on my list was Maverick. And Andy said, I really like that name. I asked him why. He said, I really like Top Gun. So that was his reasoning. I really like the name. What a Maverick is actually it's a cattle that's unbranded, which means it really follows its own way. So that was kind of the concept that we had for the team originally. But a lot of our cheers and some of our plays are based off of things from the Top Gun movie. So yeah.
No, it's definitely. I mean, would you guys shave your heads partially for nationals every year?
Yeah, it's kind of become a little bit of tradition to do that and to don some aviators. Yeah, so it's been a lot of fun, and the team's extremely exciting. We're really looking forward to next year. We're actually going to start practices in November, practicing every other week. We'll hopefully invite some of the local players from the universities, such as Guelph and University of Waterloo and Laurier. Hopefully you can get some of them coming out. Just working on those basic fundamental skills during the winter and giving maybe a little bit more intensity throughout the winter, aside from just doing your regular indoor co-ed leagues, which sometimes aren't the greatest quality. So if we can give an alternate way for people to practice and work on their ultimate skills during the winter, that's what we're trying to facilitate. So.
Well, it definitely seems like it's a program now. I mean, you've gotten it to that point where you've developed it, third year now.
Right.
It's going to be hopefully big news. And I know I said I'd be nice, but I do want to ask about Phoenix, the rivalry. Like traditionally, it's been a Phoenix Goat rivalry. Do you think? Like, I mean, they talk about it as a rivalry now.
Yeah, it's always a lot of fun playing against Phoenix. They're a very established team. They've been around for, I think, probably 8 or 9 years now, and we're in our second year, or going into our third year. But it's a lot of fun every time we play them. We all know each other. They know our offense. We know their offense. And hopefully that continues, in the next couple of years.
Well, I think the next big thing, next CUC, your big rivals will be Phoenix, probably General Strike, and then also from out west, you're probably going to have someone from Calgary. Probably Lenny's going to be playing over there with the local team.
Yep.
And I think the biggest, though, is going to be Mephisto.
Yeah, I imagine that they're going to come back stronger next year than they were this year. A lot of their players went into co-ed to try to make a bid for Worlds. So I definitely expect Mephisto to be stronger next year than this year. You mentioned General Strike. I think they're going to be extremely strong next year. You can just watch the University of Manitoba to see their strengths on the field, and a lot of those players are playing Strike next year, I would imagine. So.
All right, and then finally, probably your only remaining challenger would be GT.
Yeah, GTs, they're interesting. Every year they're a little bit different because because of the farm system of Toronto. They have an influx of players. This year, they've really impressed us every time we play them. We had one particularly close game in Ottawa in the middle of the season, but they're always, again, fun to play against, and yeah, they're really improving for sure.
So last question, because this has actually been pretty good, and I want to end on a high note.
Yep.
So you've been working a lot here locally, as you said, building up the system. You've been running clinics for WADs.
Right.
So thank you for that. I think the only things are we going to see some sort of farm system come up? Do you think the demand exists?
That's a good question. We have talked about it. It's going to come down to what the demand is. And right now there are 3 or 4 local mixed teams in the area that kind of have a bit of a tiered system going. So it's possible that we can move some of those players into the open system, and if you can do that, then yeah, you can definitely see a potential for maybe a B team coming down the horizon. But that would, again, it would depend on the leadership there, because you really need a solid leader to be able to run a successful B team like they do in Toronto and some of the other larger cities.
Thank you, Matt. It's been great.
Thanks a lot.